Next on the list, I can smell it. I can smell it. Of course I can smell it from here. This is insanely powerful. Life is a breeze. Life is a breeze. I like that name. It doesn't sound like a Yankee Candle name. The color, also a nice touch. Let's sniff. I love these nautical maritime fragrances because they're not literal expressions aromatically. They're poetic expressions. The artist has to take the feelings, the emotions inside and translate what an experience of being at the sea or being on the ocean, sailing in this boat that we see on the label. There's a lot of poetry involved in these kinds of creations, or what I call fantasy candles. So I have to say this from the very beginning. This is a men's cologne driven candle. There's no question about it. This is a masculine cologne, very familiar aromatic profile when it comes to men's colognes, and there's a lot going on here. So let's systematically break it down one step at a time. So let me list off some keywords. This is usually how I tackle an aroma like this. Life is a breeze, so breeze, coastal breeze, sea breeze, ocean breeze, coastal winds, at sea, on the beach. Whenever you see a fragrance that's called fresh air, clean air, summer breeze, 99% of the time, the fragrance industry uses two contrasting elements to create this aroma, citrus and florals. Of course, sea breeze has an aroma, but the language of the fragrance industry, that is what they use to portray that experience. Citrus and florals, and this is certainly no exception. As far as citrus, we're getting a lemon lime, but definitely bergamot. Florals of lavender, jasmine, geranium, and neroli. Now, neroli is the interesting one because it's a really orange blossom. The oil is just made through a different process. However, if you've ever smelled neroli oil before, it has this salty, saline, brine-like quality, which is certainly going to work for a maritime fragrance. And we have to talk about herbal notes, herbaceousness, especially when we're talking about cologne-driven fragrances. We're getting sage, basil, eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is an important one because it gives us this sense of coolness, being on the boat, feeling the wind on our face. But we're also getting things like oak moss and juniper berry. And juniper berry is going to frame several of the pine elements in this candle really nicely, like cedar and camphor and frankincense. And let me throw in lemon verbena as well. Definitely some peppercorns. So we do have spice, but really nothing else. Maybe a mild clove. It's probably not even worth mentioning, but definitely the peppercorn. Base notes of cedar, sandalwood. Sandalwood's important. Again, it just fits into the aquatic maritime theme, smelling that sandalwood. That wood is going to remind us of, make us feel like we're in that boat, we're in that sailboat, we're in that ship. The citrus, the florals are going to make us think of the fresh ocean breeze, but it's also going to make us think of fresh linen, like the sail of the boat. And let's say the cologne of who's ever steering the boat. And I would be amiss to neglect the saltiness of this candle. It does have a salty brininess. Maybe it's because of that neroli, maybe there's something else contributing to that, but I really do want to point that out because it's not common. There really is a sea-like, again, saline saltwater aroma here. And we have to throw in musk. Now, this isn't the floral, flowery, pretty musk before. We're talking about the brawny man musk now. We're talking about the manly fragrance industry description of manly or masculine muskiness. In my humble opinion, I think this is done really well. Life is a breeze. This is a sea voyage. You know, you're standing at the helm of the ship, wind at your back. This is a poetic experience. This is not a literal experience, like we said before. Definitely a masculine cologne profile. And let's talk about maybe that ship, that sailboat on there. I wonder if Yankee Candle is trying to implant a thought, an idea into our head with that sailboat. What other masculine fragrance do we associate with a sailboat? Old Spice? A little bit, a little bit. And there are no Yankee Candle notes, fragrance notes, or description for this candle at this date. If you come across them and you would like to share them, please list them in the comments below. There's always a silver lining. A positive thing to think about is that it's a brand new year, 2018, which also means that another Halloween, where Halloween,